Hello, gang. Hello, gang. Hello, gang. What up? What up? What up?
Recording.
Bear with me, just letting it load up. Hello, hello, hello. Bear with us. Bear with us. We're just loading. Let's see if this lets me get it on Facebook. So today's episode is a bit of a technicals heavy episode. Just because I've been on the road, I've been working at some festivals, so I haven't really had a chance to dive into the fundamental side of things. But as we know, Bitcoin is storming. So well, there's a time in that I said Bitcoin is storming and then storm enters the room. That's pretty classy timing, that. Okay, bear with me. Let me just share my screen. Okay, actually, in fact, what we'll do is we'll start by analyzing one of my. Give it 1 minute. And we'll start. Share my screen. And you might have seen a post go out from us about an Amd long-term investment that was on our watch list that we were talking about a year ago. So we're going to start with that. So let's just look at this for a second, because this is a great example of pretty much what's going to happen in crypto. Just because it's pretty much an identical, well, not identical, it's a very similar chart pattern. If we look at this here, mainly this area here, this kind of Y coffee kind of shape, where it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's kind of like I'm trying to think of the best way to recognize it, to advise you. Now, the reason I wouldn't be able to advise you on that is because I'm not a financial advisor. I do not claim or intend to be perceived or received as a financial advisor. Anything you may see or hear on this show is not for investment advice. Please do your own research. Everything is for educational and entertainment purposes only. All investments come with risk. If you are unable to mitigate the risk, please seek professional advice from a professionally qualified financial advisor. If you are unable to talk to one and would like to talk to one, please contact us and we can put you in contact with an accredited financial advisor. Okay. So let's do this. I don't know if my bandwidth is gonna allow for me to have my video, but I like having my video. I like showing my face. Are we all good signal wise? Let me know, peeps. Someone lets me know if you can see the screen okay.
Yeah, all good.
Oh good. You all good, homie?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, cool. So what we're looking at here is this Wyckoff pattern. So this is the most commonly seen pattern when we've got whales, which is the big banks, not quite happy with the price, and then wanting to do something to encourage more retail traders to push the price down. The price comes down, and then it does what is known as a bull trap. Now, a bull trap is where it looks like it's about to go up, but then they slam it down even more. So here we can see there's a bit of a bull trap here, came up, boom, price came back down to this exact same support line that we've seen that was there on multiple occasions. So you can see all throughout September, we had multiple touches here. Let's because we're doing this as a tech episode, let's actually look and count how many times we had touches. So that's what let's get that again. So we had a total of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And look how accurate these touches are when it comes to the price level of 73.74. Price comes up, so everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get in. It looks like it's going up. Boom, bull trap, little mini second retest bull trap. Boom, carries on coming down. And again here. So you can see it's all, this whole chart pattern here just screams manipulation, just screams giving people false hope that the price is going to come up. Now, the way you can get burnt, obviously, is by trying to trade things on a daily. If you're trading on a weekly, then this probably wouldn't have hurt you as much. And then secondly, just hold for the long term, guys. Just hold for the long term. I just highly, highly recommend holding for the long term with about 80%. Well, I don't recommend anything. What I do is hold for the long term with about 80% of the money that I'm investing. And then about 20% of it I will use for day trades, knowing that I'm very likely to lose it. Because at the end of the day, these long-term investments do 100%, 300%, 400% in some cases, especially in crypto. Whereas trading is very hard to get a £5,000 trading account up to 10,000. It's actually very, very hard to do. Whereas with long-term investing, that's not that hard to do. So anyway, as we're saying, so we can see here, then we have this top, which is very, very clear here, this resistance, just here. And then again, same kind of thing. It comes down, gives people hope that the price is going to go back up because it creates a support line here. So you can see this little support line here. Look how clear that support line is. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. So you would think from here, okay, this is done. This is now going to go up. Price comes up, touches the ceiling, comes down. And now this is where you would think, okay, last time it touched here, these last 3 times, it actually turned around. So then what would happen? People would get in again here thinking, right, this time it's going to go higher than it went before. They get in, what happens? It now goes lower than it ever went before. And then we get our 2 little green candles making people think, oh, no, it's over now. It's now going to finally go up. But look what happens. It goes up and then goes even lower than it did before. So this is just all perfect to just keep people a little bit wobbly. Now, you probably heard the saying, the truth will always be set free. Now, anything that has good fundamentals, 9 times out of 10, not always, but 9 times out of 10, cannot be contained in this way, because eventually one of the whales within the global whale network will just be wanting to put their money in, and it will just mess up the whole distribution pattern. Or they would have felt, right, we've got it down to the price that we wanted it, and we've acquired as much as we wanted it of it. So let's say, for example, we've got £100 million and we've got £100 million to invest into AMD. We don't want to get it here at $93 a share. We want to get it every time at $74 a share. So we get loads of it in. We've been in it last year and we've rolled it all the way up, and we made 100% return on our 100 million, and we've gone from, let's go to 2020. So what month are we in now? We're in August, coming up to September. So let's say 2019 August. So yeah, we was in here. It's a nice flat level from 25, and we're putting 100 million. There's a nice support. Boom, it goes from there, from 25 to 1 year later. It's at pretty much an all-time high of 86. So that's almost in 1 year from holding and long-term investing. Let's measure it. Let's go around mid-August. So we'll go from here to around mid-August. 217% return you've made. What is likely going to happen if your 100 million has gone up 200% and is now 300 million? You're probably going to take some profit, and the other whales are probably going to do so too. So this is where this will happen. Then, because that's happened, some people are going to go, oh, you know what, it's still a good time to get in. And you're going to get your last little pump, because once the first whale gets out, all the others are going to want to get out. But they're not going to want to take their profit down here. They're going to want to take their profit up here. So they put a bit more money in to get everyone else to think, oh, it's still going to go up. Take their money out here, and then boom, back down to this support level. Now, this support level is where they're now deciding, oh, okay, you know what? This is where I'm going to buy my next round for the next year. So it's hit this level, it comes up, and all that manipulation that we were talking about, this is buying point one, where you've proved to your clients and your investors, look, last year we bought 200, we spent 100 million and we turned that into 300 million. What we'd like to do, we'd like to buy the exact same thing again at $73 a share based on the amazing fundamentals and the earnings reports. Is that okay? They're probably going to say, it's okay, but we'd prefer you to do it staggered at staggered intervals. So you say, okay, cool, that's fine. So instead of having 100 million to invest, we're going to have 400 million to invest. So then what they'll do is invest 100 million here in September, again in October, again in March, and again one final time in May. So that way it's staggered out and it's not one big massive spike. Because if that happens, it's going to be a bit naughty. So you've done that, and then look what happens. Boom, it perfectly hits the long-term trend line. And what's this long-term trend line? This is a trend line that's been there since June 2019. The price has hit this trend line. So again, if you're looking at the long-term view, you would have seen all these bounces on this support and been waiting for it to hit this trend line anyway, because it's been there for so long. And then when it did at this beautiful sweet spot right here, it was pretty likely it would have dropped below that support to hit the long-term trend line. And from there, Bob's your uncle, and we're off to the races. Now then, if we measure from August last year, so we'll go from here up to the high, we should have at least 100% move. Oh, we don't. Okay, 59%. Thought we would have got a bit more than that. But nonetheless, I don't think this move is over. I think it's still got some more in it in the next couple of days. We can see it's at 65% here. It's done a bit of a pullback. My calculations, I'm looking at it getting up to do a 100% move. So that would be from August. 100% would be around 151. Cool. So let's look at some indicators that might help with that. Now, this is absolute game if you learn how to use this tool. And this tool is called the Nephew Sam Stop Hunt and the Nephew Sam Order Block. This would normally be out in a paid lesson. So how do the order blocks work? The order blocks are very, very similar to the kind of information that the big whales get from Coinbase, Robinhood, Trading 212, and eToro. Now, what they do is they sell your order data to the big investors so that the big investors know where loads of people are getting in and where loads of people are getting out so that they can then basically helps them calculate things better. So the big blue lines is where there is the thicker the blue line and the longer it continues is the more orders that have been placed at that price. So we can see here these continuous orders up mean that it's going to be very difficult for the price to come below it because there's such a solid order system. Now, if we've got a double blocked order, that's going to be even more stronger support because if it breaks through, if it comes down to here, there's a lot of order momentum, which is going to cause the price to come back up. Now, what's beautiful here, we've got this line here. I don't know if you can see it. Just here, creating this support. So we've got a double stacked order block here, and then we've got an order block here and an order block here. Slap bang on the trend line. Suggesting when it hits this trend line, what should happen? It should fly up. I hope that makes sense. If any of this is confusing, just message me privately in chat and I'll go over it again, or just speak up and I'll go over it. Okay, cool. So now when we look at where the price is now, we can see that we've got another very cheeky double order block just here. And then we've got another order block on the other side of it, suggesting that the new support would be just here. Now this is pretty naked, as in we're not using much indicators on the screen. So a naked trade is when you're not really using many indicators, but we can see I'm about to start making this indicator crazy in a sec. But yeah, so this is the order blocks. So hopefully that all makes sense. Now that's the blue ones, the blue are the buy orders, but we can also have sell orders. So let's go from this now and let's go and look for the stops. So again, we go from here and we go to Nephew Sam stop hunt. Oof. Wow, if that doesn't scream. Okay, so the red, what do we think the reds are? The thicker and longer the red line is, the more consistent stops have been placed there by whales and by big institutions, suggesting that they're not allowing the price to go through there. Because we can see there's been, if the price comes up to here, there's loads of sell orders here, which are going to mean that if the price comes up, it's not going to be able to go through because people's sell orders are triggered, causing it to go down. This is obviously the theory behind these two indicators. So we can see quite a lot of manipulate. Well, we're not even going to call it manipulation. We can just see that there's a lot of strategically placed sell orders around this whole pattern, which goes in line exactly with the story that I was telling you about what was possibly happening here. You can see sell orders stopping it from getting there, then a buy order exactly here to get people to buy in again, sell order here, buy order here to get everyone to get back in again, sell order at the top all the way down, little buy order, little buy order, buy order, and then this big one here. Hopefully this is quite clear. So again, you can see this super clear on Bitcoin. Ninja says he's sorry, he's just at an event at the moment. Okay, cool. So let's look at this on a weekly. Hopefully you can see that. Now look at that order, that stop hunt. Look at how clear all those that stop hunt is. Make sense? And it came up to this day, and what happened on this day? Boom, flash through. So yeah, do your own research into how that works on YouTube. Just type in stop hunts and order blocks. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Bitcoin and have a look at the Bitcoin chart. And based on what I've just shown you there, that should now look even more clear. So you see all these the stop hunt all here. That was all through 2020. This is on the weekly, remember? And now we're going to switch it out to the orders. So there's the orders, slap bang on the trend line. Just here. You can see it a lot better on the daily. So remember, blues are where the buys are, and then reds are where the sell positions are. So you can see we've got these kind of stacked here. We've got one just here, a massive sell order at the 57,000 where the price then came down quite dramatically. Then again, another one at 59, forcing it down. And then over these last couple of weeks, you can see it all here. So that's that. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So now let's go and use fibs. So when we use a fib, we can use the auto fib. Auto fib extension. Now when you just whack this indicator in, the full extension, which is wherever the 4.2361 gets to, is the price that is most likely in crypto specifically for the price to get up to and be the ultimate top. So you can see it's looking like 62,000. Anything after that, it's very unlikely that it will get past that level without pulling back a little bit. So it doesn't mean that that's the price that it's going to just stop moving. These levels are just levels that it's very likely they will pull back and then continue up. So we're expecting that at 2,000, but from where we are now, we should be expecting that at around the 49, oh, not even 49, around 50,000. So Bitcoin from here up to $50,000. And then from there, we might get a slight pullback, I'm expecting. And then from there up to the next fib level, which would be around 58,000. And then again, another slight pullback. So also on this, we did have a bit of an Elliott wave mapped in. But yeah, we're going to go into the next indicator now. So I'm just going to pull that fib off, extension. Let's go.
Who's that there? Who's that baby dog?
So then what you can do is you can also use the fib retracement. So fib retracement is basically the inverse of the extension. So this is just telling us levels that again might be retracement levels. So levels that the price might get up to, and then it might form a resistance. So these are your potential future resistance levels. So the first one is 0.236. We've smashed through that. We can see that was a resistance level just here. And then it pulled back, came down to the support, which is 0.2888, and then bounced up. So then the next one that it should have had a slight pullback at was 42,000. Did anything happen at 42,000? Let's have a look. Yep, it did. You see that? It pulled back down. And where did it pull back down to? The previous fib level, which was the 0.236 level. And now it's come up. So then the next fib level should be 0.54, which would be 46,000. And where is the price now? Exactly at that fib level. So what are we expecting to happen? Just a slight pullback. So maybe from here down to that previous fib level. So maybe down to 42,000 from 46,000. And then from there up to the 0.618, which is going to be 51,000. And then where do we expect it to pull back to? You guessed it, back down to the 0.5, which would be 47,000, and then back up to the 0.7. Now the 0.7 is the most crucial fib retracement level. Now, whenever you use an auto fib retracement level, if the price breaks the 0.7, this is where things will go absolutely parabolic. This is when it's basically been given permission to not follow the rules. So if Bitcoin goes past 56,000, there is nothing stopping it from getting to the next fib level. And where is the next fib level? From 0.7. From this 0.7 level, we have one at 0.786, which will take it to 58,000. Then the next major key one is the 1.618 mark, which will take it to 88,000. And then from there, you can see they go all the way up to the 4.361, which would mean Bitcoin could go up to 180K. So let's see what happens there with that. Again, if you want some more info on how to read the fib levels, drop me a message. I'm happy to do a lesson with you and show you how that works. Okay, so let's go and look at some other indicators. So the next indicator we'll look at, my personal favorite, the Don-Chan channels. Don-Chan channels are an accumulation of averages. I think they quite clearly show you where the support levels are and where the resistance levels are. So when we whack this indicator on, hopefully you can see the blue line at the bottom. And we can see whenever the price hits the blue line at the bottom or comes near to it, what tends to happen. Not every time, but most of the time, it bounces up. Now, if you've got this Don-Chan line, this blue line, where we've also calculated a Fibonacci line and also calculated it's where a support line is, it is even more likely that the price is going to move up from there. So we can see at this level here, at the 28,000 mark, this is where I marked off my support level, and it was also a fib level, and it was also a Don-Chan level. So I was very, very confident, and you probably saw some tweets, and you probably saw it in the groups, that Bitcoin wasn't going to go below 28,000, and that's why 28,000 is the point where I bought a lot of Bitcoin. So from there, you can see that touch here. Now the same applies in inverse. So wherever the top of the Don-Chan level is, it's also very likely that from there, it might pull back. And again, if that is also somewhere where you calculated will be a resistance, or somewhere you've calculated will be a Fibonacci level, increases the chances that at that point it might turn around. So we can see here, it hit the top of the Don-Chan level here, hit the top of the Don-Chan here, came down, hit the top of the Don-Chan here, came down, hit the top of the Don-Chan here, came down, hit the top of the Don-Chan here, but with this bit here, it made the price move up with it. So from here, any point, we're expecting it to turn around. But most likely, where do you think it's going to turn around? Let's whack in those that fib one more time. Fib retracement. Okay. So it's looking like the next clearest fib retracement level, that's 0.382. This one is the 0.5. So kind of where it is now is where we're expecting it to pull back just a little bit from the top of the downtrend. And then, so let's draw that in. What is likely to happen? So it's likely to come down to the previous one to there. And then from there, go up. And then from there, come down. And then from there, come to here. And then from there, come down. This sort of movement. And then from the 0.7, boom. And I probably won't do that all by September. It might take a little longer than that. But that's what it looks like it might do. But we'll see. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that's cleared that up on that one. So that's the Donchan. So let's go to the next one. You all should know by now, if you've had lessons with me or if you've not had lessons with me, about our good friend, the RSI, otherwise known as the Relative Strength Index. So Relative Strength Index, what does this show us? This shows us if something is overbought or undersold. Now, if the RSI is above 70, that means it is overvalued and is due to come down. Look at that. The RSI is over 70, and we are where on the Donchan? And we are where at the Fibonacci level? Suggesting this to us that Bitcoin is going to pull back just a little bit. But just like we're looking for double bottoms here, there's a double bottom that could happen here, and there's a double bottom that could happen here on the RSI. So we're expecting the RSI to go down to around 58. And then let's put this in where it could, we're expecting it to come down to on Bitcoin. Just there. So 37,000, that's a bit of a pullback, that, but we've just left 36,000, gone up to 45. Back down to 37,000 would make a lot of people cry. But then from there, we go from there to 49,000, which is a bit mad. So yeah. So yeah, that's the RSI. So now the exact opposite for the RSI. If the RSI is below 29, below 30, then that means it is majorly oversold and is a crazy undervalued asset, and you should probably look at investing or buying it because it's oversold and there's just too much drama and hype around selling it. So we can see whilst this whole Bitcoin saga was happening, look how low when Bitcoin hit its trend line, which we're expecting it to do. What happens when something hits a trend line? We're expecting it to go up. What happens when something hits the bottom of the Donchan? We're expecting it to go up. Look how oversold it was on the RSI. It was at 15, which is just meaning ridiculously oversold. Then again here, however, the RSI wasn't as low, but it was still at 25. So, and then again here, what did it do? This was our support line because we had multiple touches, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, base of the Donchan. It was also a fib level. RSI was down. It's suggesting buy. And then from there, what happened? Flew up. So that's the RSI. So one final one I'm going to give you. I don't use it that often, but we'll look at it. is the stochastics. Now, the stochastics, the way that this indicator works is you're looking for when the blue crosses over the red upwards. So you can see it just about here on this bit here, just where these arrows are, unfortunately. So you can see when the blue crosses over the orange and starts heading up, the price starts heading up. When the red crosses over the blue from the top, like you can see here, the price comes down. Now, let's see if we have any coincidences here or any perfect alignment. So we have the price hitting the top of the Donchan. We have the red crossing over the blue. What's likely to happen? And it was a fib level. The price is likely to come down. So again, when we look here, where we are now, we've got this nice double bottom here on the stochastics, here and here, if you can see it. So we're expecting now what's happened. The red has just crossed over the blue at our fib level at the top of the Donchan, suggesting the price might come back down to where? Probably around here. So let's mark that in. Again, I might not be right. Right a few times. And see what happens there. So that's that. So let's have a look at some other cryptos applying the Donchan, the stochastics. Where's it gone? If you're doing lessons with me, then I'll show you how to use the MACD, CCI, and also Elliott wave, which is the matrix code, basically. Cool. So that was Bitcoin. If you type in chat the crypto that you'd like to see me do some TA on, we can go from there. So just type in chat what you want to see. Go through. But first we'll go to ETH because that's logical. So ETH. When we look at ETH, what do we see? We see, firstly, what we want to do, like with everything, is you want to do the long term first. So you want to look at it as an investment first, then look at it as a trade. So as an investment, is ETH on an uptrend? Yes. Monthly, is it on an uptrend? Yes, it is. It pulled back a little bit, but it's continuing on an uptrend. In fact, there's a bit of a really clear trend line. Oh no, it's not in there. Let's just draw this trend line in. So from here to there. That will be a monthly trend line. Now, because it's a monthly trend line, that means it's much more likely to be obedient, and the price is much more likely to follow this trend line. Okay? Suggesting that if it follows this trend line, so if we have any pullbacks on the daily, we're just looking for it to come back to this monthly trend line. Okay, so that's the monthly. So then we would look at the monthly RSI. What's it saying? It slightly was overvalued, crazily. It was at like 95. So it was well due a pullback. And where was that pullback due to? The trend line. Cool. All right. So then from there, we're now looking at the stochastics. Where are the stochastics at? We can see the blue has just crossed over the red. just here. The blue's crossed over the red and it's going up, suggesting that ETH is going to continue moving up. And we've also had a turnaround on the RSI, and the RSI is coming up, even though it's overvalued. So that's on the monthly. So then what we'll do also is whack in, Danchan's already there, we'll whack in the fib extension. So the fib extension here, same with the 4.236 is there, so it's pretty useless on this one. That's the auto fib. We can do a manual fib, which is 10 times around. Auto fib retracement. Again, it's only calculating these prices all the way down here, so it's, the auto is not working too well on that. Okay, so then we would go to the daily. Now, when we look on the daily, what's happening in the RSI? Is it over 70? Yeah. What's happening with the stochastics? Super, super unclear. Can't quite tell. What's happening with the Danchan? It's hit the top of the Danchan, and it's been stretching the Danchan out for a while. So from what I've seen there, it looks very likely that it's going to come down to at least this trend line that we marked in before. But we can't tell. Let's see if the auto fibs work on this bit. They do. Okay. Ah, perfect example. So do you remember what we were saying about when it breaks the 0.7 on the fib, it just goes parabolic? That's exactly what's happened with ETH here. So you can see it. It just broke the 0.786 here, and it just went. Currently, it's at the 1.616. So the move wouldn't really complete until it gets here, which is the 4.236, which is putting ETH at around 46,000. You can see we've already pre-marked in a point to sell. Not major amounts of ETH, but maybe just a little bit. Just going to take a little bit of profit. Maybe before it was going to be about 30%, maybe now 10% of my profit I'm going to take from my ETH when it gets to around 43,000. Cool. I hope that is super clear to everyone there on ETH. No way are we there. ETH was at 3,000. I didn't even know that happened. I'm not even paying attention. Last time I was talking, it was at 2,000. Bloody hell. Okay, well, the ETH train has officially left. But we definitely did tell people to buy some more ETH right here in June when it did a double bottom. Definitely did. But yeah, let's get rid of this and see why that would have been a good point to buy some ETH and see if everything we've said, any of it's kind of sunk in. I'm going to put it on the screen, and I want you guys to type in the chat why, according to the technical analysis, where I've just placed this green dotted line was a good point to buy ETH. Can anyone tell me, based on any of the indicators or anything? Oh no, why has that done that? Okay, we're back. So yeah, can anyone type in chat, or can anyone tell me why this was a good point to buy some Ethereum, where this dotted line is? Based on any of the indicators, based on anything. So even look at where the RSI is. There we go. We placed it flat bang for you.
because every time it hits that point, it just raises up from there. And obviously the RSI and the other one's shown quite low, and it bounces back up.
Brilliant. Well done. Thank you very much, Emma. Anyone else got any other reasons why? Storm, I know you know this one. Zishan, I know you know this one. This audio is not working. I need to, who else have we got? Invest with Moa. Who else have we got that I can pick on? Where's Kevin? Is Kevin still there? Oh, Kevin's not there. Okay. Let's see. AJ, I want to pick on you because I want to help you. If you can tell me what happened with the price and the Dochan, which is the blue line, at this level, where the green dotted line is. There? Anyone there? No. Okay. I don't know if it's the signal. I'll tell you. Oh, that was bad dancing. Okay, cool. So we can see, number one, first we have the support line. So we'll get rid of the Donchan. We'll make it invisible. So we see, look, this touch here, the price went up. 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 Then when we add the Dochan also, whenever it touches this base, which is the Dochan line, what happens? The price also goes up. So that's our second confirmation. Now our third confirmation is when we look at the RSI at these points. This point here, the RSI is at like 20. Just get rid of the stochastics temporarily. So this point here, the RSI is all the way at like 21. At this point here, the RSI is still low. It's at 23. So it's below 30, suggesting that's a buy. So that's 3 confirmations. Then, if we're pro investors and traders, we pull in the order blocks. If you Sam order blocks, what do we expect to be exactly where the Dochan and the support line is? Look at that. Some order blocks. Exactly at those points. One there, one there, one there to stop it falling back. Game. I'm gonna get like a little audio thing whenever I spit some like crazy game, it goes game. Or like nah, I'm not gonna do a game one. Just do like a game one. Perfect. Thank you very much, Storm. New support line, it doesn't start below when hitting. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, cool. So that is Ethereum. Hope that's cleared a few things up on ETH. So let's go to the next one. Everybody's favorite, Mr. John Locking's favorite, Cardano. Now, hopefully you can see this really clear support line. Yeah. So we can see it's been a bit cheeky. It's popped below it a little bit, but then everywhere it's popped below it, it's created a second support line there. So let's whack that in there. Make that a solid line. So you can see it drops through that line and then just touches that line. And then we've got the Donchan resting just at the top of it. So when we look at this in a bit more detail, we can see here and here. And then when we look at the RSI, where's the RSI? Is it below 30 at that point? Yep, it's at 23 at this point here. So what would that suggest to us? It's hit a support line. It's hit the bottom of the Donchan. The RSI is below. That would suggest the price is going to move from there. Now, then, where do we think the price is going to move to? We'll check that when we check the, just get rid of the RSI here and whack in the stochastics. I was a bit naughty here just for time. I didn't look at the monthly, but I'm going to presume you guys will always look at the monthly first. Isn't that right, guys and girls? I'm sure in the world we live in now, girls don't mind being called guys, but someone's going to have to clear that up. I don't know. Okay, so stochastics. Stochastics here, we can see when it did touch this point, this support line / Donchan line, the blue line went over the red line and started going up. Great movement up. And we also have the RSI there as well. So then now it's expected that you can see there was a bit of a ceiling here and it was struggling here. And it does look like the red is about to burst through on the stochastics and go through it and bring the price down. Let's whack in the RSI and see if the RSI is over 70. And if it is, it's very likely that Cardano is going to move down just a little bit. And where are we with it? Just at the 70 mark. So it's got a bit more breathing room. So now what we'll do is we'll also whack in the fib. So whack in the fib retracement. Fib retracement level. Oh, what's going on here? Let's get rid of these. One. That. Okay, so our fib retracement levels 786, 618. Oh, actually, I think I might have already done this pullback here. Because look, it's perfectly touched this fib retracement level here, this red line. You see it? Perfect touch of it, which is quite peculiar, but fair enough. So yeah, the next level that it would come down to, if it was going to come down, would be here, which is Cardano at 1.29. And the level below that would be 1.23, and then the 1.19. But I think that's very unlikely, because it's just perfectly touched this one. Like, can it get even more perfectly touched than that? So then we'll now look at the fib extension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly, to wrap up, show you how to manually set a fib. So what you would do, instead of using the automatic one, let's get rid of the Donchan, make it clearer on the screen as well. So we'll go to, no, you don't need to go there. Go on the left-hand side, and we're looking for this bit here, and we're looking for trend-based fib extension. So what we're doing is we're looking for the last significant impulse. So a last significant impulse is a point on the chart where the price moved up significantly after a previous red candle. So that could technically be here, or could technically be here. But the most clearest one is clearly this. So we're going to whack it in there on that support line, go up to the top, the highest point, and then bring it to the lowest point, which is here. And then this helps us mark off the levels that the price might go to or get to and then struggle with. So again, we have this 0.382 which is just here, which is basically where the price is just gone past. So next one would be around here, 0.5. Next one here, 0.618. Next one, 0.786. And then ultimate price that we're looking at is for Cardano to get to 7.12. So I wouldn't, yeah. If you got to 7.12 from where we are now, and you've been buying Cardano during this dip, you would end up making 600% profit. So you'd be a very happy bunny. So yeah. And now that we zoom out, hopefully you can see how clear this is. Yeah, this support line. That's a support line that's been there since what? February 2021? Since February? Hasn't dipped below that. And then let's finally whack in order blocks. Surprise, surprise. What do we see on Cardano? Stacked order block. Just here. And just where the fib level is, we have a sell order. So expect when Cardano, that's where the last sell order was anyway. So I would expect when Cardano gets to 1.64, might have a slight pullback. Let's put this in a dotted line in red, just so that we're prepared for it if it does happen. By surprise, I'm like, oh no, Cardano selling. No, it's not something. It's just gonna here and here. So those are the 2 points we're expecting a bit of trouble. And then finally, let's whack in Donchan on it. Again, just to confirm. It's not really extended up there yet. But yeah, hopefully that has given some clarity and some insight to people in terms of TA and the charts and crypto. Any questions before I wrap it and I shoot off from anybody? Invest with a MOA. Any questions, buddy?
Yeah, no questions, man. But cheers for the looking at the Cardano charts. That was really helpful.
No worries, broski. No worries. AJ, any questions? Anything you want us to look at? Oh, chat. VeChain. Yeah, we can have a look at that. Let's have a look at that. Why is that not in my list? Why is that not in my list? That's really weird. Bear with me a sec. That is really weird. Okay. Right, let's have a look for you. Oh, it's connected. Oh, it's there. I'm just blind. Sorry. Okay, cool. So first of all, monthly on VChain. Just saying. It did hit the top of the Donchan, came back down. It's fine. It basically touched the 0.786. That's fine. That's expected. Then the order blocks on the monthly aren't too clear. Then let's go Stochastics. Let's go RSI. Okay, so RSI on this is telling me it's turning up on the monthly. The blue's about to cross through the orange, so this could be a really interesting takeoff point for VChain. This might be a great shout, Storm. Okay, let's go quickly to the daily. Okay, so clearly the support line is here. 0.5166. If the price does come down to that, I don't think it's going to, because it's done that move, that 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touches there. So I doubt very much it's going to come back down there again. But let's mark that off as the major support. Okay, now when we look at it on this, you can see, can't quite make out what's happening with the stochastics. It's battling a little bit. RSI as well, again, nothing too clear. But if we do a manual fib, we've got a really clear one from here up to here. Then the pullback, which is to there. I think if we do that in the 4 hours now, maybe even the 1 hour. So this is me going in super deep. Wow, that is such a good call, Storm. Because look at these touches on these levels here. That touch was super clear. This touch here at the 786, super clear. It's come all the way back down to here. Just cheekily popped out just below it. It's come all the way back up. I'm expecting, because it broke through it before, I'm expecting VChain's about to go. And it could go all the way up to 0.23. So that would be a, from here, be, if you don't mind sharing with us, at what price did you get in at VChain, or what month, if you did? Yeah, suggesting it's at least going to go up to 1 to 0.23. But apparently I've calculated that it's going to get up to 1.2. A month ago. So if you got in a month ago, oh, so probably around, yeah. So it was probably for the last month, it was toying around here. Or if you got it here at 0.56 and it's now at 106, that's already there's already 89% move. And then if you look at it, if you got it here, look at this RSI. That was screaming to buy it. RSI was at 4. It is very, very rare that you will get the RSI at 4. That's just doesn't really ever happen. Oh no, it wasn't 4, it was that. And it was a double bottom RSI as well at 12. That is an incredible find, an incredible buy. Thank you very much for that one, Storm. Last but not least, oh no, I've still got to ask. Zishan, any questions, anything you want us to look at?
Sorry, I've just come in. Come to me on the next one. I might have a question for you.
Okay, cool. No worries, buddy. Last but not least then, Homa, any cryptos you want us to look at? Anything you're looking at? Any questions?
Not this time. Not this time. I'm all good. Thank you, Michael.
No worries, homie. No worries. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. Lots of love. And I'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Michael.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you.
No worries. Bye.